Hey guys, so I have some afternoon updates in the Gabby Petito, the search for her, and for now Brian Laundrie, who has not been seen according to his parents since Tuesday and is considered a missing person, even though he's a person of interest. He's a missing person. It's not a manhunt. There's nothing criminal against him right now. We're going to talk about that here. That got another friend that has said some things about Gabby as well as her godmother. So we're going to go over that. And this search that they're having for Brian Laundrie now in this Carlton Reserve, which is 25,000 acres that they're searching, the Northport Police Department, FBI, and other agencies. So that's going on actively right now. I think it started about an hour or two ago. And the reason they're searching there is because they have reason to believe that he was hiking there. So, interesting. Okay, 1 second here because... Sure what's up with this. Okay. I just want to do one thing. Add this to the right playlist and just put our customization on so we can keep it to subscribers only. Hope everybody's having a good morning. And we'll get right into this in just a second here. Come on. Okay. All right. So let's see, we've got, hi everybody joining us. So there is a search for him going on for Brian, and that press release from his lawyer last night, the one that said that Brian is not missing, he's hiding, that was legit. Was really, we weren't sure because there was one line and we were just saying we read it out, but yes, that has been confirmed. That is from the lawyer. So that is what Gabby's family issued through their lawyer, that Brian Laundrie is not a missing person, that he's in hiding, which is a large police, FBI, and other agency presence at that Carlton Reserve, and it's 25,000 acres. So it's a huge area that they're searching. Some, very dense with brush and everything else, but they have reason to believe he is hiking there. So that began about an hour or two ago. Oh, don't tell me you can't hear me. Hold on. Oh, no. Hang on 1 second. Hang on. Sorry, that was, no, that wasn't, I thought that was somebody telling me I was on mute again. But no, that was confirmation for my appointment on Monday. Okay. So, yeah, there's a large presence here at this Carlton Reserve. And Joe Petito is still in Wyoming, mostly, he says, handing out flyers. There is a Spring Hill, Florida couple that says that they saw the white van at the Grand Teton National Park on August 25th. But August 25th is also the day that Gabby's mother spoke to her on a video, FaceTime call. So Mimi says there's tons of alligators out there. Are you close to this Carlton Reserve, Mimi? Hi, Rosalita. Hi, everybody. Hi, Susie, Muka. You don't hear anything, Ace Hardware? I'm sorry that you don't hear anything. It should be hearing something. Okay, so let me get to, where's my notes that I've been taking? Here we go. Let me go over just some other updates that I've been researching. Now, let's see. Her godmother, Flora Roca, spoke with Fox News, and she said she last saw Brian and Gabby in person around June 3rd to the 6th, and they would visit her often in her Charleston, South Carolina home because they would be going to or from hikes or things. They would come and visit her. She hung out with them very often, and they also texted and FaceTimed. So they asked her what were her observations about the relationship. And she said that she never saw any signs of anything wrong. And she said, of course, you don't know a relationship behind the scenes, but it appeared from what she saw that they had a great relationship. She said it's very infuriating that Brian is not talking. And when the reporter asking her a question said, yeah, because he's not an introvert, she just said, yeah. But it didn't seem like she was like, oh, yeah, I don't know. It just seemed a little bit leading on that. And she talked about the dynamic between the two. She said they were very motivated and invested in this trip, meaning the one they were taking cross country, that they had saved up their money and they were, very motivated and invested in taking that trip together. When asked about if she had ever met anyone, the parents or any other members of the Laundrie family, she said no. She said that Joe and Tara, that's the father and stepmother, she doesn't know if they talk to them very much. She knows that Nicole and Jim Schmidt, which again is her mother and stepfather, is Gabby's mother and stepfather, had communication with the Laundrie family, but not a real closeness, and they didn't talk often. Again, the godmother giving that interview had never spoken to the Laundrie family, only to Brian. And she was saying to him, Brian, you're the only one who can tell us where to start looking. You are hindering this investigation, and you're using up resources and people's times, and it's reprehensible for you to keep silent. She said that, he's issuing statements through his attorney that look like they came out of a gumball machine, is what she said. And you should tell us, are we even looking in the right spot? And this is actually torture. This reservoir area, I believe they're concentrating in what is the Myhatchee Creek area. Searching actively for him as a missing person. Again, 25,000 acres there to be searched. Last night, as you know, if you were with us, there was a large presence at the family's Northport, Florida home. People screaming, give us answers, all of that, until it was confirmed that Brian was not in the house and that the parents had actually, through their attorney, called the police and asked to speak with them regarding the fact that they had not seen Brian Laundrie, their son, they said, since Tuesday. So police brought in looked like brown evidence bags, but they said that they were collecting evidence in order to find Brian Laundrie, and that he was listed as a missing person. There is if you have any, again, as we talked about that Spring Hill, Florida couple that saw the white van in the Grand Teton National Park on August 25th. That is also the same day that her mother, Gabby's mother, last heard from her through a FaceTime. But if you have any information, there's FBI.gov/Petito. And people can actually leave, if they were in the area traveling and they have any photos on their phone or anything that may be useful, you're able to upload it there. And that's FBI.gov/Petito, Petito. You can do that. Let's see. What other updates do we have? And then there is another, let's see here, friend. Hang on one sec. So a longtime friend said that Gabby would never run off on her own. And I quote her saying, she would never ever disappear like this without her parents knowing where she is. This is so out of character, and I don't think anything that's going on is due to her own doing. And that was something that was said by her longtime friend, Nikki Passanante. So she is living on Long Island where they grew up. And she also added, I think something more devilish is going on. She speaks with Gabby's mother at least once a day. Gabby spoke with her mother at least once a day, according to this friend. When the Wi-Fi was not good, she would text her mother instead. And after Gabby was not answering her mother for days, her parents tried contacting her boyfriend, Brian. At that point, Brian was not answering their calls, and that's when they really started to worry. She was always on road trips, Gabby, and so was he, and that's why it worked out so well. This friend Nikki said she thrived in the relationship because they both had similar goals. They both wanted to travel and live a rather nomadic life. She described Gabby as free-spirited and selfless. She said there's always been a warmth about her. When people meet her, they instantly love her. Now, she viewed that police cam video, and she said she thought that Gabby's mental health was getting blown out of proportion when people were calling it a mental health breakdown. She said it was a fight, and that Gabby only mentioned OCD because she was getting stressed out and little things were bothering her, which were getting her really worked up. I don't think that's a normal everyday thing. I think that her explanation for why she was upset at the time and for why the fight started, that's why she used that. But I think she was so upset in that video because she had a fight with her boyfriend. I don't think her mental health was much different from anyone else our age. I mean, we all have a fair amount of anxiety, is what her friend Nikki said. This is interesting fact here. She says that Gabby and Brian met in high school and they were in the same friend group, but she never met him over the course of their 2-year relationship. And she just knows that people that know him just describe him as quiet and nice. The only thing she felt was that it was strange the pair got engaged so quickly. Okay, and she thinks that, her mother, Nicole, Gabby's mother, says the pair were no longer engaged. But she says that she doesn't know why unless they called off their wedding within, the first week of their travel. Okay, so that's basically that. And then we know the other friend who was Rose. Let me see here. She described the relationship much different, and we went over that last night. She was saying that Brian Laundrie was very controlling, that one time they were going to meet up, this friend of hers, Rose, and Gabby at a bar in Florida, and Gabby was driving down the road and then realized she didn't have her license. Come to find out, Brian had taken it out of her wallet. This is all allegedly by Rose, okay? Had taken it out of her wallet because he didn't want her to meet up, to be able to go to this bar with Rose. And she said that something concerning that, allegedly, Gabby had said Brian gets upset, he hears voices, things like that. So she painted an entirely different picture of him, and I'm just going to go through some of that stuff that she said again. You have to take it from where it comes. And this is from a friend, and we don't know, so we just can report that, and you can file it there and see what you want to believe there. Okay. She described him as jealous and controlling. Her name is Rose Davis. She said, besides that ID thing, she said Brian didn't want her to go out with me, so he took it. She said that that Gabby was hysterical when she found out, and she allegedly told Rose that she had slapped him and something about him pushing her. Now, Rose is a friend who lives in Sarasota, Florida. She met Gabby early last year on Bumble BFF. That's a site, not a dating site, but it's a site to make friends on Bumble. She said she began hanging out with her at the house in Northport. She did say that Brian came off as a sweet and caring guy, but was always worried that Gabby was going to leave him, and then started to try to stop Rose from hanging out with Gabby. Rose says she's Gabby's only friend in Florida to her knowledge, and that's not because she can't make friends, it's because he didn't want her to have friends. Again, this is coming all from Rose in an interview with none other than the Daily Mail. So you can take that with however many grains of salt that you want. I'm trying to see if there was anything else of any real interest here besides that. So she last spoke to Gabby in early August and was planning to meet her in Wyoming's Yellowstone National Park in September. Rose had asked several days off from her boss. They were planning to lock in a specific date on August 29th, which was Rose's birthday, but Gabby never called her. The next day is when that last text to Nicole Schmidt, Gabby's mother, came in, which said no service in Yosemite. Yosemite is about 800 miles from the Grand Teton National Park Yellowstone area, where Gabby was last known to be on August 25th. So Gabby, she says, worked last year at Taco Bell and then took a job at a smoothie place, which is that juice bar, I guess, she was talking about in that police cam. And she would sometimes join Rose when she was working delivering pizza. She used to consider Brian a friend because we'd hang out a good amount. He had this composure as a sweet, nice, caring guy, but you could tell he's a little off, a little weird. Like he'd set up our hammocks when we'd go to the beach, but he wouldn't sit with us, which I found bizarre. She said, according to her, that Brian has a jealousy issue. He didn't want her to have friends. She didn't push it because she didn't want to cause an argument. He was always worried she was going to leave him. It was a constant thing to try to get us to stop hanging out together. And then she said he'd demand she'd be home for dinner. He often cut their time short. He'd demand to pick her up from my house, even when I had a car and offered to drive her. She said she never saw the couple argue in front of her, but she could tell afterwards that Gabby would appear upset and he'd seem calm. She said that she told, that Rose knew her friend suffered from anxiety and said her anxiety would act up like that, but there has to be a decent thing to trigger it. Something had to happen, or just a lot of things had to build up. I'm a little upset she didn't just call me after the fight because she would have before, is what Rose is saying. She said, of course, like any relationship, there were arguments. She would come and stay at my house when there were arguments to get away from it. Within the first year, I would say at least 7 to 10 times. I do believe that as that relationship kept going, it was getting more problematic. It just seemed like there were more and more arguments. Everything she did, I felt he thought was wrong. Even as she said in the body cam, he didn't even support her with her blog. That's not what a fiance or boyfriend does. That in itself made me feel that it continued to get worse. Her friends from New York were bullying her when she got with Brian. It was something about Brian that they didn't like her being with him. She was upset about it once. I went through it with her, and she was like, screw them. She's holding out hope that Gabby will return home safely, but fears the worst. I just know she's not out there on her own and just hiding, not talking to anyone. She said, I know my friend. My worst case scenario is that this remains unsolved. It's just been so many days and it gets harder each day. Okay, so let me just check if there's, go to the Northport. Okay, so let's check the comments on this Twitter. So it was 2 hours ago that the Northport Police Department announced that the Northport Police Department, FBI, and agency partners are currently conducting a search of the vast Carlton Reserve for Brian Laundrie. His family said they believe he entered the area earlier this week. Okay, so let's look here. Why haven't you started looking by air? It seems like, okay. So a lot of people are very frustrated about what they believe is things that are not being done that should be being done, or that they lost track of him or anything like that, or how they said they knew exactly where he was and then they didn't. So there's a lot of frustration and everything from people in the area and people all over the country. Someone, and you can see it in the Twitter comments, someone says, "Why are you just taking the parents' word on where to search for him? I really hope some of the bloodhounds are tracking the scent from the house, not just believing a family that hasn't been helpful at all in finding Gabby." Someone said, "So he entered this area earlier this week. His parents haven't heard from him for a few days and then decided to contact the police. They waited 72 hours to even reach out, knowing he was gone. That's sus, fam." Let's see here. "Shouldn't the parents be arrested for obstruction of justice?" someone said. "Brian was deemed a person of interest on September 15th. They should have come forward that day." Here's a map of where they're searching. Go over here. Again, it's 25,000 acres. The Carlton Reserve is full of wild boars, poisonous snakes, and alligators. People are upset. "Y'all failed Gabby. How do you let the one person who knew where she was seen last leave and disappear? He did something and his parents are helping. You let him run away. SMH." So what are they going to do if they find him alive? Take him back to his parents' house? Yes, that's exactly what they said. Since he's not answering questions, no one cares for him at this point unless it's regarding Gabby. He should have been forced to talk before he ran off. Gabby's family could have had her by now. I hope he speaks up when he's found. So if the parents knew he entered this preserve at the beginning of the week, then why didn't they say something to the police on Tuesday? Sounds like the parents were co-conspirators. I think everybody wants to know why the parents did not speak up until last night. Someone said, "Seems ironic that they tell police exactly where to look for their son, but completely silent about Gabby, who they have known for years. They had an opportunity to do what's right as moral human beings and help their son do the same. Instead, they hid behind silence. Sad. How do you believe anything that family says? They haven't done anything to help. They're just sending you off to chase your tails and give this guy more time to run." In your prior press release, you stated that you knew exactly where he is, and then you say you didn't keep tabs on him as he wasn't charged with a crime. And last I checked, it's not illegal to follow someone in public. PIs do it all the time. Why didn't you have plain clothes on him? So yeah, it doesn't, let me see if there's any. I told you about the godmother. I told you about the friends. I think that's all the updates I have right now on this. I'm just going to just check real quick before. Anything else is coming in. So this is a vast wildlife reserve that they're searching near the Gulf Coast. Dozens of Northport police officers, FBI agents, and other agencies searching the 24,000-acre Carlton Reserve in Sarasota, Florida. His family said they believe he entered the area earlier this week. Laundrie's family earlier told officers they hadn't seen him since Tuesday. Police had a conversation with the parents Friday evening, the first time they'd spoken with them in detail about the case, and that the meeting came at the family's request. An attorney of the family called the FBI investigators and said they want to talk about Laundrie's disappearance. Attorneys for the Petito family released a statement saying Laundrie was not missing, but he was hiding. Gabby is missing, and that's from Richard B. Stafford, attorney. Okay, so that looks like, let me just check Twitter before this. Okay, I'm just looking here. I just saw a post from her father posted just a video. Said don't lose focus. All right, let me go to the chat and see if I think we are. Here we are. Okay. So let's see if you guys have any. Penny Sue says, hello, it's been such a long time. I don't know what happened, but I only realized that you were still on here last week because I was subscribed, and now I am again. This case is so sad and infuriating. Well, hi there, Penny Sue. I've been here all along. Welcome back. Friday. Linda Roning, they should have been watching him. And it said, good morning, everyone. I fell asleep with live chat on last night. You all have such soothing voices, I guess. Muka77, hi, says lots of alligators. Scary. Bridget, hello there, Bridget. Mimi says, no, I don't live close, but we have been there before with professionals. It's dangerous. Nenny C says, Brian is not missing. He is hiding. Yes, Nenny. Okay, Carol Clark, hello. Samra, hello. Linda Roning, hello. Emily says Brian's not missing, he's running. Jenny Anderson, hello. I think Brian thinks he's great at being out in nature in Florida. The Everglades and national parks are dangerous. It will be very uncomfortable for him. Probably has tons of mosquito bites by now, Mimi says. And Cheever, hello there. Just Me says that's the entrance area. Then it turns into the Carlton Reserve. It's a huge area with tons of wildlife. Sassy Darcy says just shows to her that he's guilty. His parents drive me insane, says Bridget. Happy Saturday, Mooka. Happy Saturday. He can't last much longer there, Mimi says. Brenda Jo says this beats all. Tuesday and you wait till Friday to say he's gone. Samara says happy Saturday. Bridget says, oh, by the way, we haven't seen our son since Tuesday. Denise says, have you seen the photo the neighbor took of him 15 minutes? Denise, that has not been proven to be him. I don't think that's him. No, we discussed that last night. That's not been issued by any law enforcement agency as him. So, yeah. I'm not reporting on that because we're only doing facts that come from, credible sources. His foot looks really weird in that picture too. Your friend lives in Spring Hill. She's a snowbird, Deborah Beacon said. Ash Lewis, hello. Carol Johnson, this is awful. I feel he will off himself, she said, and not reveal his whereabouts. Lori Davis says, I don't think that was him behind the house. I believe he's been running since Tuesday. I don't believe that was him either, Lori Davis. Carol Johnson says he killed her and ran off. Oh, Denise says, I thought so also, but it just looks like him. Yeah. The Rusak family met their goal. That's great news, Carol. What is justice for justice? What are you talking about? Carol, I don't know what you're talking about. Lady D, hello there. He took her phone, Lori Davis says, and locked her out of the van and threatened to leave her. That's why she was so upset. Nona 617, hello. She was making excuses for him, something a lot of women do for their men. Yes, Laura Lee says, Linda Roning, I heard he left a note in his room his parents found. Did you hear that from a credible news source or just another YouTuber or some friend? Anna says, I'm watching at my office today. It was on the live news stream last night. No clue what it said. Okay, thanks for... This is just so messed up. Bridget said, I'm livid with the parents. I haven't heard anything about a note. Neither did I, Linda. Laura Davis upsetting the police in Utah. Didn't see what was going on. OCD isn't exactly a serious mental issue for most people. There are a lot of us with OCD and experience anxiety. Note story came from a live news feed. No details, Carol Johnson said. Robert Kim said dirty laundry stinks. I just hope her family gets the information they deserve. His parents and the lawyer knew once he claimed the Fifth Amendment right, he wasn't going to have to talk to law enforcement. Shame on his parents. Mimi said, hi, Robin Lane. I'm here, just not me today. I hope you feel better, Robin. Let's see. Pamela, hello. Joe Clausen said, any update? I'm just coming in. The update is that they are searching the 24,000 acre reserve and Carlton Reserve near Sarasota or in Sarasota, Florida, for Brian Laundrie. His parents say that they think he went hiking there, and they haven't seen him since Tuesday. But I don't know if any other source if they have any other reason other than what his parents said. Hi, Gianna Marie. Sadly, now her friends will come forward and talk about him being controlling and abusing. Very sad. No one said anything before. Yeah, Mimi. 10th Angel, hello there. Sounds like such a controller. Amy Margolin says, highly should be so. Rosalita Marie. Kelly B says, guys, Gabby's going to hike the same trails. It shows the trails completed, all except one. I don't know what that is. Global. Gabby's on. Such a beautiful girl, so full of hopes and dreams, Pamela says. He was most definitely a narcissist who would hide her license if she was going out with girlfriends. He was gaslighting her big time. Can you imagine? His parents want law enforcement to look for him but don't care about Gabby. It's sad, says Brenda Jo. I think the case is getting completely out of control on both platforms. The Facebook, oh my gosh, let me just take a look at that. That's nuts. Those groups they spiral, and you've got to really, that's why sometimes you can't even, they get so out of control, it's crazy. With conspiracy and let's just take a gander. Okay, here's something. Let's see. Northport police confirm they now have cell phone tracking access for Gabby's phone and Brian's phone. They're hoping it can provide clues about where both have been and where both are now. That comes from ABC 7, Jeff Butera. So that's a big update. A lot of people are saying, what happened to him not having a phone? Exactly, right? And then Kyla Galler said, update, Northport police said they have gained tracking access to both Brian Laundrie's and Gabby Petito's phones. They can track where the phones are now and where they've been, but they said it just takes a long time, and that's NBC2. Okay. Here's another source, NBC2, Gage Golding says, breaking, Northport police now have access to both Gabby Petito and Brian Laundrie's phones. This means authorities can now track their location and access their messages and calls. Well, that's some big news. And where is this from? Let's see. Let me see hang on one second.
A place that he frequents. They also believe that this is where he came. He had his backpack. He said that this is where he was coming. We have drones up. We have four-wheelers, And we've got 50 people who are used to dealing with these types of elements. His family says that this is a place.
That's the Northport Police spokesperson saying that they are looking at that Myakatchee Creek Environmental Park, which I guess is part of that Carlton Reserve. But that's breaking news about the phones. Let's see if there's anything else. Okay, so I don't see anything else. Let me check Twitter real quick. Okay. All right, so let's see what else. Hi, cute kitty kitty. Hi, Lisa D. What kind of family is this? It's ridiculous. Leaving everyone with no information. So they've got the phones now. I mean, that's big. Hi, Deanna. This reminds you of Josh Powell. Deanna. The only reason they called police is because their son is missing. Loving Life says, I agree. If they find him, oh, they said if they find him, yes, they will do exactly that. They will bring him home to his parents' house because they reported him missing and because it's not a criminal. He doesn't have any criminal charges against him right now. He's a person of interest, yes, but they said they can't. Sporks, did you change your name? Looks different than last night. Hi, sorry. I blame him, his parents, and the police for allowing this to get to this point. It's outrageous, and if handled correctly, he'd be in custody, and she would have been recovered. Pathetic. Sour Milk and Cookies says, Carolyn, thanks for bringing this to us in such a calm way. I'm not that good with staying calm. Those police are updating on Twitter. That's how the news stations are getting updates, says Amber. Yeah, that's where I am on Twitter. Sweet Pea. Let's see. I sincerely hope that this does nothing to hinder the search for Gabby. Not concerned with the fool. I'm concerned for Gabby. Take the focus off of this fool. I don't know, Brenda Joe. I'm not. Could be a Reddit thing. Who knows? People on here are talking about not being able to find her trails on a hiking app. That seems like info not everyone would know. I hope the police have been told about it. I'm sure they have. I'm sure that stuff comes from Reddit and stuff. Someone is saying they have found him. Brenda Jo, you said someone said they found him. Let me take a look. Where are you hearing that? On Twitter? Let me see. I'm not seeing that here. Let me check on Twitter. I'm not seeing that. And last I'm seeing is police now have access to both Gabby Petito's and Brian Laundrie's phones. $17 minutes ago, 12 minutes ago. Here's the latest from the search area for Brian Laundrie, wooded area outside Northport. And there's a short video on Twitter, and it's not saying anything about him being found. Okay, so if Brian Laundrie didn't have a phone like he stated in the body cam footage, why was Gabby reminding him to take his phone charger and him agreeing that he had searched for the phone charger in the van? That was part of his whole excuse. Someone said here on Twitter. So it's actually 24,565 acres in that nature reserve. Okay. See what they just said here? Listen to this. As people across the country hope for Gabby Petito's safe return, scammers could be capitalizing on her disappearance. So we're going to see a lot of funds, a lot of stuff going up. Again, those accounts to get subscribers is what I think as well. Be aware of that. NBC2.com. Yeah, there's nothing here that from a news source that they found him. I'm not even seeing it reported by someone. I don't know where you saw that. You don't see a capture, Kathy says. That was the wrong info. Okay, all right. So according to his attorney, no. Sweet Pea, no. The parents' attorney has said, they're saying Gabby's family's attorney is saying Brian Laundrie is not a missing person. He is in hiding. Gabby is a missing person. That didn't come from his lawyer. It came from Gabby's family. LH says the parents and their son are immoral. I just went out to get Chick-fil-A. We are working on the siding. The house is starting to look pretty nice. That's nice, Lisa. Oh my gosh, so many looking for Brian. What about poor Gabby? Yeah, Gianna, there are people out and search crews out there. Her father's out in Wyoming. I guess people are just concerned about this because they feel he has the answer of where to search for her. And so is he dumping evidence in this reserve, Many Jean said. He would be found, not captured. Exactly, loving life. Okay, so that's about the size of it for right now. I'm sure there'll be, maybe we'll have some other updates. The way this case is going, I'm sure there will be. Hi, Linda Galb, I'm sorry. We don't know what's going on. We don't know a lot of things, but now that they have the phones, that's a good thing. I think that'll give a lot of information with the phones. I can't believe they, it took until now to get them, but what are you going to do? He left, Julie Johnson says he left to get parents peace from harassment on people on the lawn, I bet. Lisa's quite upset over this case, as we all are, yeah. Why would you go on an outing? Hi, Christy. All right, so I'll be back if there's any other updates, and back later today. I'm going to go out and enjoy the day, go for a bike ride and stuff like that. So I hope you guys have a good day, and I'll talk to you later. All right, love you guys. Bye. Take care.